Hey, CityCast listener, this holiday season, you could win a prize for doing simple things like ordering takeout from a local restaurant. It's all part of the DC Holiday Hunt from District Bridges. There are over $3,000 in exclusive prizes that you could win while supporting local businesses, completing fun missions, and crisscrossing DC, which, as you know, is one of CityCast listeners' favorite activities. And with no app required to play, it's easy and can be done at your own pace. Play now through January 5th for your chance to win. Just go to dcholidayhunt.org. Once again, that's dcholidayhunt.org. Happy playing. Today on CityCast DC, it's December. It is December. I'm here with CityCast's Julia Karen and Ash Durbin to talk about how to get the absolute best out of DC this month. And after we give you our tips and tricks for December, the folks at District Bridges have their own event that they know you're going to love. So stick around for that sponsored interview. Today is Monday, December 2nd. I'm Michael Schaefer, and here's what DC is talking about. Hey, Julia.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Ash.
Hey.
So for folks who don't know, we do these monthly guides, this one to December. We do them every month, as you might guess. And that's really sort of underlines what CityCast tries to be all about, which is connecting you to your city. Sometimes we do that through trying to tell the news in a way that's relatable and human. Sometimes we try to be useful and hope we succeed. Today, let's be useful. The goal is to prevent you from having FOMO. And, the way I see it is like, it's sort of one part, like what's some actual stuff specific to December 2024 that's on the calendar. One part is like, hey, we're locals here. What's something we do every December and kind of like it? And try to offer some tips. So, Julia, why don't you kick it off, man?
I'm an ice hockey player. And so skating for me is a big deal. And in DC, December is when it gets cold enough to go to a local rinks in the area that are set up throughout the city. There's one at the National Sculpture Garden. That's really, really cool. I go to that one basically every year. There's a new one at the National Building Museum. That one's indoors. If you're like, ooh, outdoors, it's a little chilly. I don't want to be outdoors anymore. There's been one at Georgetown in the past. There's a bunch of them around town. The tickets and prices are going to vary based on like, do you need skates or not? Are you skating for the full time or not? But overall, it's a good excuse to like break out the skates, get on the ice, try something maybe you haven't tried before. I love skating outdoors at the Sculpture Garden. It's one of my favorite things, even though the cost is a little annoying. I still love it. It's one of the cool things about DC.
As an actual hockey player, do you look with contempt at all the people who can't really skate and are just sort of like edging around the rink?
No, I think it's a good way to like try something new and get out of your comfort zone, but also do it in a place that looks really pretty. I don't know if you all have like done skating at the Sculpture Garden, but you're literally surrounded by all these very cool sculptures and art. And it's kind of a 2-for-1. Like you're going to a museum, but you also get the excuse of being active. I think it's a really cool way to like entertain yourself, entertain your kids if they want to learn how to skate. They also have little holster thingies that you can hold on to if you're feeling really unstable. And if skating is not really your thing, a lot of these places have hot chocolate indoors. And so if you need to dip out, that's the way to do it is, have an excuse to have the hot chocolate.
For someone like me who hasn't skated since I was like probably 9, will I be busting my butt the whole time? Or do you think you can pick it up in like one session?
I think you'll be busting your butt for like one session a little bit, but then after that, it's almost like skiing. You do it one time to get back in the swing of things, and then you're like, oh, the muscle memory is sort of back.
The one on the mall, it's a pretty small rink, which is good because there's always like an edge to hold on to, but it doesn't have like little like penguins for kids and grown-ups who can't skate to push around. Just a word to the wise.
Yes.
And I hate to, ride on your coattails or whatever the skate version of that is. But this is sort of my December eternal too. What you're skating at the mall, and I always feel like I'm in like the establishing shot for like a rom-com set in DC.
Yes.
And it's quite beautiful. And as frequent CityCast listeners might know, I'm a bit of a Scrooge about certain Christmas activities. Like I've been not on the enthusiastic side about when we talk about holiday markets and stuff, but I'm actually an old softie, and I love that rink. It's so pretty.
All right, Ash, break us out of our funk. What do you got? Are you also on the skating train?
I'm definitely not on the skating train. Maybe I'll give it a shot. We'll see. But every December recently, as I've gotten older, I find myself craving dim sum in December.
Only in December?
a lot of people who don't celebrate Christmas will get Chinese food on Christmas Day, stuff like that. Soup dumplings are a good cold weather food. I also just love dim sum and Peking duck. So I've been hitting Da Hong Pao the past 4 Decembers.
Where's that?
14th Street. That's probably the best option within DC proper. Really good Peking duck.
And you do this on Christmas Day?
No. I'm celebrating Christmas on Christmas Day, but I just find myself in December, like, habitually craving dim sum.
The place that I go that's closest to me is Han Palace in Adams Morgan.
Yep.
They also do a mean soup dumpling. Their Peking duck is very good. If you're looking for dim sum, you can find it.
Yeah. And December is a good month, especially as you get closer to the holidays. If you wanted to go a little bit further out, there's Hollywood East Cafe or Gourmet Inspirations, both in Wheaton. Both you can metro to easily. If you want to go a little bit further, China Garden, Honggang, or A&J in Rockville. I've been meaning to try Mark's Duck House in Falls Church, just because the name Duck House. And I love me some duck. So good cold weather food. Maybe you go skating and then get some duck in your belly afterwards.
At the exact opposite end of the Chinese food sophistication spectrum, last year with my extended family, I had a theory that nobody really likes Christmas dinner because by that time, like, the kids want to play with their toys, everyone is a little bit over-relatived, and no one sort of appreciates the meal as a result. So instead of doing the big fancy sit-down meal, we ordered Chinese. And it was so fun. People got to sit wherever they wanted, and we didn't pick the best place. And I don't think they were bringing their A game that night, but just as an idea, sort of counter-programming against this bloated meal where the kids don't like to be at. It was a lot of fun. Let's be real, lawsuits are not fun, but with Paulson & Nace, at least they're a little easier. Paulson & Nace is a DC law firm in every sense of the word. It was founded here in 1979. Partner Chris Nace is a local who cares deeply about the DC community, even serving on the board of the local branch of the Living Classrooms Foundation in his free time. Nace and his associates Samantha Peters and Maya Perry handle medical malpractice, wrongful death, and other complex injury cases. And they don't just settle every case. They'll go to court. They'll fight for you. Paulson & Nace has even been recognized as one of U.S. News' best law firms. So if you have been hurt or lost a loved one because of someone else's mistake or negligence, call Paulson & Nace for a no-obligation consultation. Visit www.paulsonandnace.com. That's PAULSONANDNACE.com. Or call 202-463-1999.
Today's show is sponsored by BetterHelp. If you're a magic maker like me, the person in your crew responsible for the parties and the menus and keeping the whole squad on theme and on time, the holidays can be so much fun, but they can also kind of run you down. Therapy can be a great way to bring yourself some comfort. Maybe you want to learn how to set some boundaries with your friends and family this time of year, or maybe you're working on coping skills for when you get overwhelmed. Therapy can empower you to be the best version of yourself in any situation. If you're thinking of making a change, BetterHelp wants to be there for you. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Find comfort this December with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/CityCast today to get 10% off your first month. Again, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/CityCast.
The world comes to Washington, D.C. this December. Join us for the 11th annual Winter National Embassy Showcase at the Ronald Reagan Building and International Trade Center on December 5th. Presented by World Trade Center, Washington, D.C., Winter National offers a one-of-a-kind experience featuring representatives from over 60 embassies, promoting their countries through vibrant and interactive displays of visual art, food, and handcrafts, as well as travel, tourism, and trade. Attendees can shop the marketplace for artisanal goods like jewelry and hats, or ceramics and hand-carved wood sculptures, sample cultural delicacies, and explore countries' exhibits featuring arts and culture, commodities, and diaspora communities in traditional dress. Don't miss this free, lively midday celebration. Register at rrbitc.com/winternational.
Hey, if you're tuning in as part of District Bridges' holiday hunt, thank you for being here. Your code for the scavenger hunt is HEYDC in all caps. That's HEYDC. It's named for our daily newsletter. If you haven't subscribed, you can do that at dc.citycast.fm to get your daily dose of local events, news, and humor. The code is HEYDC. Happy scavenger hunting.
Are you guys holiday market people? I know, Mike.
How long have we known each other?
I am kind of on Mike's side with this. I like the idea of going to an outdoor market. I like farmers markets. I like perusing. But all of these markets, it's stuff that I would feel bad buying for people most of the time. Just stuff that would clutter up their house or nothing anybody really wants or needs. Generally, maybe I'll check out the new one this year.
Just for the record, I'm with you. I like the perusing. I like the browsing. I like that there's usually something that smells good. It's just that there's only so many soda can tabs repurposed as frames for a locket that you can buy.
All right, so instead of holiday markets, what's one event that you guys are hyped for this holiday season in December?
I have been meaning to do this literally my whole life, and I've never done it. It is the light show at the Washington, D.C. Temple of the Latter-day Saints in Kensington. If you grew up here, you know this as Disney World. Literally thought it was Disney World as a kid. And they have huge Christmas lights from December 5th through January 1st. I've never been. Apparently, it's a whole crazy shebang. It's free. So yeah, I've been meaning to check it out. Hitting the Mormon church in December to see some lights.
Get there early, people. A lot of people have come to tears getting stuck in a long line of cars going to look at it.
I think I have tried to go a couple years ago with a friend, and we pulled up on the line and they were like, absolutely not. Don't care that much, and turned around. So yeah, I guess get there early. I mean, it opens at 4:45, and unfortunately it will be pretty dark by then.
But that means the lights can sparkle better.
So here's the thing, and again, just to prove I'm not a Scrooge, although in this case it involves Scrooge. A couple years ago, I got tickets to Ford's Theater's A Christmas Carol, and I thought, I just thought it would be like a saccharine, whatever. It was actually great. The show was great. The crowd was great. The mood was great. Maybe not quite as good as the Muppets Christmas Carol, but pretty good for live. I mean, it's also kind of fun to go to Ford's Theater and see it as a living theater, but that's a kind of fun December show. So that's actually up already. It runs through the end of December, through New Year's Eve.
Nice. Yeah, that's one of my earliest DC winter memories is my godfather taking me to that when I was probably 6 or something. And I still remember it being 6 and not really paying attention, but still enjoying the atmosphere of the Ford's Theater.
I went with my kids. They were a lot younger, but they were old enough to crack wise. And one of the weirdest things about Ford's Theater is, when you're going in, there's like an exhibit. There's like a security stand you got to go through. And the sign says, no guns allowed past this point. And my daughters, who were quite young at that point, they were like, it's a little late for that, guys.
I remember it kind of adding to like the spooky vibe of the play too. And I was like, oh, like there might actually be some ghosts in here as well,
A couple more secular December treats. This is also a month where there's not a lot of gallery shows open or new plays open. Just typically it's it's not a month of premieres. But there's one show that opened just at the middle of November, so it's new, at least new to DC, at the Smithsonian Art Museum. It's a show of 3 Japanese-American artists. It's called Pictures of Belonging. Their paintings are really cool. There's there is obviously a whole theme with incarceration during World War II and so on. But it's a great show. It's been in a couple other cities, and it's at the American Art Museum now. Yeah, it's totally worth checking out. And the other thing, it occurred to me, looking at it in light of the election. Our big institutional museums in DC after 2020 leaned very hard into showcasing underrepresented artists, trying to expand or blow up the canon, because art museums are like big, glacial, slow-moving things. The stuff they were eagerly trying to get done in 2020 is now showing up. As a Washingtonian who takes advantage of these, I'm curious as to whether that tendency will, continue now. That, both because there's some concern that the new management will be less keen on showcasing underrepresented voices. And there's also a sense that the general public in the election gave a sense that they'd sort of enough of that. So at any rate, there's been a whole lot of great shows in Washington in the last couple of years that have tried to bring in people who don't usually show up in some of the old line museums. We'll see if it continues.
In the spirit of good music around the holidays, I have 2 different events. One is musically themed, and it wouldn't be me unless it was a sporty event, of course. This first one is actually happening this week. It is the National Symphony Orchestra's Ugly Sweater Holiday Concert. So break out your ugly holiday sweaters, go to the anthem. Tickets are like $25 to $40. The show is Wednesday, December 4th at 7:30 p.m. They'll play everything from Sleigh Ride to Carol of the Bells to Jingle Jangle Sing Along, music from Frozen. If you want holiday music and you're sick of Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas, which you shouldn't be, it is a top tier Christmas song.
And she is playing in DC this month.
It's true. I'd say go. Get that ugly sweater going. Have some fun. Go to the anthem. Get your jingle jangle on.
Do you literally own an ugly sweater
I do.
that is holiday themed?
Yes. It's got little reindeers on it.
Where did you get it? What's the story of this particular ugly sweater?
Man, I went to Macy's and I spent $20 because I was like, you know what? I need something that I wear once a year. It just looks like a holiday sweater with little reindeers and little lights on it. If you're not into the ugly sweater business and you actually want something a little bit more formal, tickets might be sold out for this. It's possible you could get them on StubHub or Ticketmaster or something like that. But the Army-Navy football game this year is December 14th at Northwest Field in Landover, Maryland. That's where the Commanders play. I think we think of DC sometimes as like not quite a football-ish town, like historically it was, but it is a military kind of city in a lot of respects. And there is something about the pomp and circumstance of the Army-Navy game that is kind of unmatched. Typically, this game is played in Philadelphia at Lincoln Field. It is not this year. It's at the Commanders Field. So even if you can't get tickets, like get your friends who are Army or Navy people, watch them lose their minds, go to a tailgate in Landover. It should be a fun time. Ogle at the really cool jerseys that they release every year. It's the 125th anniversary of this game. So it's going to be a huge, huge deal. Highly recommend either just like going to bar with friends or tailgating or something. Again, tickets are probably sold out, but
I just looked it up on SeatGeek. You can still get them. $650.
Woo!
Oh my days. I did not know it was like that. That is crazy.
it is a big deal game. It is like the game, basically. Again, the football is kind of a slog, but it's more about like the pomp and the circumstance. There's something about that game that is very, very cool and very different than anything you've ever seen. Highly recommend. Who's got some tips and tricks for December when it's negative a billion degrees and you just want to stay inside all day?
Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve are great days to experience our museums without experiencing a lot of people.
Smart. That's right, because everyone leaves and they aren't from here. That's true.
Anything touristy in general, I think it's a great time to do it.
There's that show at the Hirshhorn right now, Os Gêmeos, these Brazilian street artists. It's been a very, very popular show. You have to get timed entry passes and stuff. The Impressionist show at the National Gallery has had long, long lines. So if there's stuff where you're like, I'd kind of like to do that, but the line seems like not worth the effort, those might be pretty good days to dodge the line.
For me, part of the thing I love about DC and growing up here and in the burbs is like throughout the warm months and fall, DC's greenery. Like that's really what, I don't know, makes me happy when it's nice out and then winter comes and things start looking pretty dead. And that can make me kind of sad when I'm seeing a bunch of, trees with no leaves on them. People are out less. So I don't know, just when it gets colder in DC, I kind of like to lean into the urbanism of DC a little bit more. Get my layers on, kind of layer up and like just make sure I'm outside, walking around, walking places, spending more time in DuPont or, Adams Morgan or Columbia Heights, just where, people are more want to be out and about, see that people are still outside when the tendency is to maybe like stay in your room under the covers. That's what I always like to do. And then also make sure you got your lotion and chapstick because it's going to get all dry and cold. Yeah, just lean into the urbanism of DC and like go explore some different places. Go explore an alley during the daytime, maybe listen to our alley episode and find cool brick buildings and stuff. I don't know. I think that kind of imagery lends itself well to winter in DC.
My tip and trick is mostly related to car care when it snows. The forecast this year is weird. Some people are predicting we're getting 20 inches of snow. Some people are predicting we're getting no snow. It has recently snowed. So get your car prepped for whatever snow is happening. Get a small shovel for your car. Get one of those windshield wiper scrapers because even if it rains, it'll freeze on your windshield. Trying to scrape that stuff off is a burden. If you need chains for your tires, if you don't have four-wheel drive or anything, if you need something to grip, now is the time. And also salting the roads. That's a big deal. So yeah, be prepared. I know people in DC and Maryland and Virginia drive like morons. Put the onus on yourself to not be one of those morons.
Well, Julia and Ash, I hope you guys have an awesome month.
Same to you.
And likewise.
And don't go anywhere. In just a minute, CityCast's Julia Karen is chatting with our sponsor, District Bridges, all about a holiday scavenger hunt that will get your competitive juices flowing.
Hey, I'm CityCast DC senior producer Julia Karen here with Anna Claire Walker, the director of storytelling and marketing for District Bridges. Hey, Anna Claire.
Hey, Julia. Thanks so much for having me.
For sure. So it's the holiday season. Everyone's getting festive. We're listening to holiday music, but there's a bunch of cool events and markets and things to do in DC during the holidays. And one of them is this DC holiday hunt. So what is the DC holiday hunt?
This year, we're kind of turning the DC holiday lights tradition on its head. And one of the things that everyone really loved about DC holiday lights was the scavenger hunt. So this year, we're making the scavenger hunt bigger and better and including window decorating competitions in the process, but putting less pressure on business owners to have it up by a certain date or have any restrictions on what they can do. So now the focus is really on residents, visitors, having fun, supporting small businesses, getting, exclusive details on all these fun holiday events that are happening all over the district, and then getting rewarded for doing things they might be doing anyway, like going out to eat with friends or going to a fun festive happy hour or buying a present for someone from a local business. So it's a really, really, really fun way to get involved with DC and get some really awesome prizes from really cool businesses around town for doing things you might have already been doing anyway.
Very cool. Yeah, I love a scavenger hunt. I love an escape room. So what will that particular scavenger hunt entail? Is it for all ages? Like if you're a parent and you want to maybe wander off and let your kid do the scavenger hunt, is there anything for parents or anything like that we should know about?
So the great thing about the scavenger hunt is you do not have to download an app or anything. You can do it in any browser. You just need an email address. You can do it solo. You can do it at your own pace. You can get a group of friends together and do it. There's a live leaderboard that updates your points, so you can compete with friends and neighbors and get that competitive spirit going if you want. The neighborhoods that are participating, there's going to be trivia questions about those neighborhoods, things to go search for. And then small businesses are going to have these code cards. So by going in and exploring these small businesses, you can enter this code to get bonus points. So yeah, it's great for families, great for friends. You can do it solo. It's really great for any age. That crazy week between Christmas and New Year's when you're in a food coma, you can go get some exercise or go explore some businesses. If you've kind of missed the Christmas rush or the holiday rush, go all the way up until January 5th. You can win those points and win those prizes.
That's awesome. So I am in Cleveland Park. Which neighborhoods will be having this scavenger hunt, or is it all over the district?
Pretty spread out. We've got Cleveland Park, yep, so you can definitely do some in that neighborhood. We've got Chevy Chase participating, Columbia Heights, Mount Pleasant, Logan Circle, Georgia Avenue, U Street. The downtown bid is participating, so you'll get some points if you go visit their holiday market and answer some questions about the downtown area, as well as Tenleytown and Uptown in that kind of Petworth area.
All right. So in addition to the scavenger hunt, obviously you mentioned a healthy competition, a little bit of points action. What else can people do to get points and climb that leaderboard?
Yeah, so we have so many holiday events happening all over the district. If you're feeling a little overwhelmed, participating in the scavenger hunt will help you see what's going on in different neighborhoods. So we have holiday markets in our Cleveland Park, Chevy Chase, Logan Circle, and U Street areas. We have visits with Santa, visits with the Grinch. We have a tree lighting ceremony in Columbia Heights. We also have a Santa bar crawl happening in Cleveland Park, as well as specials throughout the city and different events with our different Main Street partners and bid partners, like I mentioned, Tenleytown and downtown and uptown. So if you're wondering where are the holiday markets in DC this holiday season and where are some fun events to get involved in your community, you can find all of that out through the DC Holiday Hunt as well.
Awesome. So if folks want to get involved, they're hearing about this, they're thinking, yeah, this is my speed. How can folks get involved and get to it this holiday season?
It's super easy. You just go to dcholidayhunt.com. All the info will be there. You can put your email right in. All the questions will pop up, and you'll just start entering your answers and earning points. And we've got some really cool prizes like free bathrobe from Brooklinen, $200 gift card to Los Hermanos. There's gift cards to places like Bowtie in Mount Pleasant, Wonderland Ballroom, just some iconic small businesses in the district.
The local haunts that we all know and love. Yes.
Yes. So who wouldn't want to win, a $25 gift card to one of your favorite businesses in the process?
Why do you think is it important for people to support local businesses, particularly during the holiday season?
So this whole campaign started from our mission of, supporting our communities and supporting small businesses. There's some statistics around the dollars that you spend at small businesses, and about 66 cents of every dollar that you spend in a small business stays in your community. Whereas online retailers and big chains, it goes down to 11 cents for big retailers, big chains, and none for, internet purchases. So, there's a lot going on, and it's really hard to have a small business in the city. So we really need to do our part to get out there, go try, a fun happy hour you haven't been to, or try a holiday menu that you've never tried before. Or if you're going to buy presents for someone, try to do it locally to support these small businesses.
Hey, you've convinced me. Not that it took a ton of convincing, but I will see you around, Anna Claire, hopefully at one of these scavenger hunts. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Again, check out districtbridges.org to learn more. We will have that link in our show notes for you as well, so you're just a click away. Thanks for listening.
And that's all for today here on CityCast DC. If you enjoyed the show, why not carve CityCast's name into the rink when you're out skating with Julia? We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Bye.